All right, shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom, Rastafari. Want to follow up on this, on JAH'S law, on what we say to put down for the young, the youths, the ghetto youths, and many who might not have had the eye-opening experience to really get into the scriptures, to know the half of their story. There was a particular individual who commented, and not reading their comment verbatim, but they alleged that when we spoke in the previous vid on JAH'S Law School, that somehow we were doing that which was forbidden by the God of Israel, Elohe Israel. In other words, that was astrology. And there's a lot of confusion about these subject matters in a Gentile misunderstanding. In other words, in the placebo Christianity and the Western form of Christianity, because most people don't go really deep to the roots or to the context of the scripture, the Hebraic context. So we had to look at the video. And we looked at the video again at the point that the person said, and we mentioned something about time and 400 years. Then we really recognized that it was not 1 minute and 9 seconds. Actually, it was at the 1 hour and 9 minute mark. So if you watch the previous video, we speak within the scriptures. I think is Ezekiel, Hizkiel, and we're speaking the word concerning the commission that was given when one was sent, when Ezekiel, the Son of Man, was sent out as an example for us, you understand, in this prophetic time, that we're to speak to a rebellious nation, to the lost black sheep, to people who are rebellious, and how the divine word says that we're among scorpions. So I had made, by analogy, with the fact that in this time that we're in this particular 2012 time, and where the heavens would be is between the so-called sign of so-called Sagittarius and the sign of so-called Scorpio. So it's because I made that analogy, a particular viewer had spoken that we were doing that which was forbidden, that astrology, and that even though we perhaps sincerely do seek to do the will of God, that they as the servant was seeking to rebuke us. Now, there's no problem with rebuke if it's truly rebuke and it's not a misunderstanding of the rebuker concerning the real context of the subject matter. So we made a couple of responses before finally recognizing exactly where they were speaking about in the video. Because of how they put the numbers, we thought it was 1 minute and 9 seconds, but actually was 1 hour and 9 minute mark. So you can check that out. But we just came in and it was still on our citations. And you can see we still didn't even take off our outer garbs. It's on the road with some brethren and ministering. And coming back into the gates, recognizing this is the Shabbat time, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to get into the Torah portion. I think it's Tetzaveh, which means he commanded, and this is the 20th Torah portion, the reading and feeding that we'll like to reason on and go over is Tetzaveh, and it's the 20th Torah portion, a weekly Torah portion, now a Hebraic cycle of Torah reading and studies, and it's the 8th in this particular book of Exodus, the book of Exodus, Shemot, right? In the book of Exodus known as Shemot. Now, what this portion constitutes, Exodus chapter 27, verse 20 to Exodus chapter 30, verse 10. And we as Hebrews in the diaspora, we read it in the 20th Shabbat after the Simchat Torah. generally in February or March. And this particular time, let's first of all get a little bit more